Well, looks like the Gators ate Bevo for dinner on Saturday. I would like to welcome you to the third Saturday in October podcast. I am Bradley here with Jared. You can find us online at thirdsaturdayinoctober.com, on social media at TSIO Pod. And if you want to support the show, you can find us on Venmo at TSIO Pod or buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod. Yes, the Gators won a game against a ranked opponent in pretty convincing fashion. The score is a lot closer than the game felt. Um, and you, sir, were there. Tell us about it.
I was. My wife is a Gator, and I'm still an Auburn fan, if anybody's questioning that. But yeah, Auburn was on a bye week, and I let myself put on the Gator shirt and the Gator hat and enjoy a really good football game. So Florida obviously is desperately needed. Um, that outcome that happened. But
Yeah.
yeah,
More
they
specifically,
have
Billy Napier.
true.
That
Yeah, they have good players. They have the ability to go out and compete with good teams. And prior to this weekend, that didn't seem likely. But yeah, it just seems like when Napier gets the fire lit under him, like and it's getting really hot. And the same thing with Lagway, that's when they turn it on. So, I'm curious to see how Florida handles Texas A&M this next weekend. That's at Kyle Field, as we
ooh,
know. That's a really tough place to play. Mississippi State found that out. Auburn found that out. Um, Notre Dame.
and
Well,
and
Notre Dame, they played at Notre Dame. But yeah,
and
anyway,
and what's the hangover like from this win?
yeah.
Because that is a real thing too. Um,
I don't think this win saves Billy Napier, but
no.
I do think I mean if you start winning all your games, that potentially saves Billy Napier. Because they've only lost three games. You end up with only three losses at the end of the season. That's not a bad season. So I don't predict that. But I'll say this, man. Florida, that crowd was excellent. Like, I mean, that was high-fiving strangers and it was fun. It was fun watching Texas lose. And when you get a chance to see Texas lose, go ahead. So yeah,
Amen.
I had a
And
great time,
amen.
man. Yeah, Gainesville's a fun college football town on game day. It's fun. I had a blast, and they have their own little things they do in Gainesville. One that's my favorite, of course, is singing Tom Petty. I won't back down. Yeah, after the third quarter, and I mean, you get 90,000 people singing Tom Petty. It's just, I'm proud of that. It's pretty
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
So
Um, I, I can't get on to you for sporting Florida colors, Florida apparel, going to a Florida game
yes,
because I've mentioned it here before. I'll mention it again. My wife's family are all Georgia fans. Several are Georgia grads.
yep.
And
That's a tough one. Being a
yeah,
Tennessee fan, I would say that's tougher than my situation.
uh, yes. I also know Auburn fans who married Alabama fans, and
Yeah,
that's probably worse, especially seeing as Georgia was not retained as a Tennessee permanent opponent for the next 4 years. Saying that, I have had the opportunity to go to a Georgia game in Atlanta. Granted, they did lose to Boise State. I believe it was Boise State. I've told, again, I'm repeating a story. Yeah, I think this was, I can't remember if I was just married or if my wife and I were dating. We may have been recently engaged. My father-in-law says, "Hey, we're I got tickets for all of us to go to the kickoff game in Atlanta. Awesome. We're headed up there, and he looks at me and he said, I need to get you a Georgia shirt, knowing that he's going to get something red and
Obnoxious
loud and
Georgia shirt. Yeah.
yes. And we stopped off for a bathroom break and to gas up, and I saw a Cracker Barrel across the street. And so I ran over there knowing, hey, we are in Georgia, it's Cracker Barrel, they're going to have Georgia gear.
Of
And
course.
and my goal was to find a white or gray or even black shirt, anything not red. And I found a gray one. So I wore that to the game.
So you can get
And
away with
then
that. Yep.
and then a few years after that, we were down in Georgia for Thanksgiving weekend. And my father-in-law said, hey, I've got a lead on 2 tickets. Would you want to go? And I said, heck yeah. That to go between the hedges is pretty cool. And I was able to I wore the same shirt um to support
Yeah.
my father-in-law who's paying for the tickets. But unfortunately, I think I'm a bad luck charm for Georgia because I believe Jacob Eason was the quarterback and Georgia lost
Yeah.
to Georgia Tech at in Athens. Not pretty.
Yeah.
So,
I remember Jacob Eason.
eh,
He later transferred back to Washington and
yes.
played there. But yeah, I remember when he was playing for Georgia. You know, it's funny that you say that because Lana had a friend come with us. And that was the first thing we did when we got to Gainesville is like we went shopping to get her Lana's friend a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So so she'd have a Gators shirt
Yeah.
during the game. Because she wasn't wearing one. We were like, we gotta fix this.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh, I don't know that I could buy the home team's colors or even either team's colors, uh, if it's depending on the teams. I mean, I'd probably wear something Vandy colored. Um,
Yeah.
I've got Georgia colors. I've got a lot of orange and white, but
Hey, yeah. I've gone to games that weren't into my team and I just wear like an SEC shirt or something, you
yeah,
know.
I I would at those Baylor games where I may or may not have gotten sunburned. I would go in a Tennessee t-shirt. I've still got one somewhere that has, I believe, a little bit of either green or gold paint on it because
Nice.
I would go to the stadium in a Tennessee t-shirt, take it off, paint up, and be sporting my true team uh,
That's
e
great.
anytime that Baylor was not playing.
Hey, Baylor did play this weekend and they had a nice win. So,
Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
any win, nail biter or blowout is a win. Um,
Yeah, there was a few winners this weekend.
yeah. We'll recap these SEC scores. There weren't many.
No, not many. Yeah.
Yeah, Oklahoma blows out Kent State. A&M pretty much beats the brakes off of
Uh,
Mississippi State in the
Yeah,
fourth quarter.
Mississippi State I thought would fare better in that game, but man, Kyle Fields just such a tough road environment this year. It's a very tough place to play. And Texas A&M turned it on at the end and just yeah, they smoked them.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah.
was 14-3 going into the fourth. The final was 31-9. We already
But
talked.
Mississippi State's still a good team, so don't sleep on them. But
Yeah,
yeah, Texas A&M caught them. So
yeah. Um, uh, I expect Mississippi State to still win a couple more games
absolutely.
this year.
Yeah.
Florida upsets Texas 29-21.
Yeah. Awesome game.
And again, Texas scored in the fourth quarter to kind of make that look close, but it was never really close.
Well, and that was kind of garbage, but whatever. I mean, there was some foolish play calling with only a few minutes left. You want to burn the clock and win the game, and for some reason, Lagway decided to throw this deep shot and it got intercepted. And I still can't understand why he did that. And then, of course, Texas took it down the field and scored. And
Yeah.
it's just like, guys, what are we doing? But they did end up figuring it out. But it was there was a moment there where Florida fans were kind of nervous. Like, is Florida going to find a way to lose this? Um, but they didn't, thankfully. So
Battered Vol syndrome,
yeah, exactly.
BVS. Florida fans have something very similar.
There was a moment there where Florida fans are getting pretty nervous. They're like, we're going to lose this. It's just like, hold on, we don't know that yet.
Yeah.
So,
Vanderbilt had a great first half. Well, Vanderbilt had a great first 20 minutes against
well, they were
Alabama.
tied at halftime, right? So like it
They
looked like
shouldn't have been
okay, yeah.
because Vanderbilt's up 7-0. Then Alabama ties it sometime in the second quarter, I think later in the second quarter. And then Vanderbilt gets the ball back and marches down the field to score with a, less than a minute and a half, I think, to go in the half. They left too much time on the clock and just forgot how to play defense because then Alabama marched down the field in no time, scored a touchdown to tie it going into the half. Alabama gets the ball to start the second half, goes down, kicks a field goal, and Vanderbilt never scored again. And I think I I when I saw Alabama score quick at the end of the first half, I had bad feelings about it. And Vanderbilt just kind of ran out of steam for the second half and Alabama won at 30-14. Vanderbilt's still a really good team to to go on the road against number 10 Alabama. I know they lost by 16, but a little bit goes their way in the second half, and this is a really good football game in the second half. Unfortunately, it was only a good football game in the first half, but Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt, I think will,
They'll rebound. Yep.
yeah, they only need one more win to get bowl eligible.
Isn't that wild? I mean, I couldn't be more happy for Vanderbilt. And I mean, going to Alabama is a tough task anyway. So to lose to Alabama in Tuscaloosa, I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of there. And um, yeah, Vanderbilt. Auburn's got to play Vanderbilt, and I'm not looking forward to it. So
I'm not looking forward to playing Vanderbilt in the last game of the season. Uh,
yeah.
then then Georgia beat Kentucky 35-14.
All right, so let's just have this conversation.
Yeah.
Obviously Georgia's good. We know Georgia's good. But let's talk about Kentucky. At what point does Kentucky say maybe Stoops isn't the guy anymore? Is that a conversation we need to have? Should we have it?
I think the conversation,
We're talking about a 0-3 Kentucky in the SEC this season. This is, I know Kentucky's basketball, but they care a little bit about football, and right now we're not seeing Kentucky live up to a reasonable SEC football standard. So,
agreed. I think losing to South Carolina, especially the way that they did, was was hard because you thought that that's a game you could be in which you could be competitive, and they weren't. So looking at the rest of the schedule, home versus Texas, home versus Tennessee, at Auburn, home versus Florida, home versus Tennessee Tech, at Vanderbilt, at Louisville. There's I don't I don't know that there are a lot of opportunities for more wins this season. I, especially in the SEC. Could you beat Texas? Yes. Will you? I don't think so. I know Texas hadn't looked good, but neither has Kentucky, other than pretty much playing Ole Miss uh, close, pretty much going blow for blow with Ole Miss. Tennessee, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about where Tennessee's sitting at number 12 in the AP poll. I don't think you beat Auburn. I don't think you beat Florida. Florida's the interesting one though.
Yeah,
Kentucky and Florida has been a good game the last few years, and you don't know what version of Florida you're going to get week in, week out. I don't know that they beat Vanderbilt. So I don't know if they get an SEC win this year. They might.
it's not looking good. And then if that were the case, if this played out in the worst case scenario, at what point is Kentucky saying, "Hey, let's let's look elsewhere." Because I know Stoops is beloved there, but man, at some point you want to win. So I don't know.
So this is something out of Marvel's What If. What what if James Franklin and Penn State decide to part ways after that disastrous loss to UCLA?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd take a lot more than what happened this weekend for that to happen. Um, but if that happened, man, that's hard for me to fathom because I think he's pretty set where he is, even though they've, come up short a couple times. Um,
They just he can't seem to get over the hump. And
I don't think James Franklin would want to go to a school that's not close to a Penn State level. Even if he did come back to the SEC, I don't know that he would want to go to a bottom tier SEC team, but he might. I mean, he did coach Vanderbilt, but he won at Vanderbilt, which is how he got the Penn State job. So,
right.
um, I don't know. That'd be interesting. Somebody would hire him
Oh yeah.
100%.
Uh,
Um,
that
because Penn
they're
State
going to
fans are
be
just ridiculous. Their expectations are not realistic, in my opinion. So,
the conversation on Nashville Sports Talk Radio this afternoon was who is looking who parts ways with their current school first, James Franklin or Bill Belichick, and the consensus was James Franklin, just his
hmm.
inability to
Yeah, I
beat.
gotta believe that. I gotta see that to believe it. Right now I'm not convinced. I mean, I can't explain what happened with the UCLA game. That's truly unacceptable, but that's not enough to get fired over. So,
So, somebody made the analogy of James Franklin at Penn State is very much like Mark Richt at Georgia.
hmm.
You win
Mark Richt, yeah, I mean, he did well, but
you win
he
nine,
didn't do
ten
Kirby Smart
games.
well.
Yeah, you win
Yeah.
9, 10 games year in, year out, but you can't put your team in a position to actually win the national championship. You, and it should be theoretically easier to do it now because of the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
But I,
Well, I've always thought, no disrespect, but I've always thought Penn State was overrated. So to me, seeing Penn State collapse is kind of like, well, that's who they are.
yeah,
And now I think more people are now accepting that, or there was a lot of delusion for several years. So,
yeah.
um, in terms of UNC, Belichick, I think it's just his first year. It's really hard to grade him fairly in one season. He he gives this appearance, or maybe it's just the way the media is twisting the story, but it does seem like he kind of is like, I'm too good for this, or I'm better than this, and I kind of care, but I don't. He almost kind of gives that vibe, but maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. Let's see what happens in UNC and then next season and the season after. If it continues obviously like it is, they'll get rid of him. They won't keep him. But yeah, I'm not convinced it's fair to judge Belichick just on this season. He's just stepped in. So, you know,
Agreed.
they kind of get a pass even though, this is a really bad season for UNC.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, Belichick's come in and really kind of ripped up that roster. So
well, I mean, I think there will be kids that want to go to UNC because he's there, despite the
agreed.
loss. Despite the bad season, I think they'll still recruit reasonably to compete you know, in the ACC. Are they going to be as good as Miami? I don't think so, but um, it wouldn't surprise me if you see them, you know, turn it around next year. But I think this year's kind of a wash, and they're just going to have to play through it. So. But yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with some of these schools, and Kentucky is definitely one of them I'm looking at. Yeah, if you didn't have Stoops there, who does Kentucky even go for? And it's too premature to really have that conversation. But if I'm a what if guy, so.
Yeah,
Would you who would you go after? Would you try to go after like a Jimbo Fisher, or would you just grab a G5 coach, an up and
right.
coming G5 coach? And I'm telling you, if that's the case, I think getting the USF coach would be a home run for Kentucky, or the Tulane coach, the John Summerall. But the gentleman who used to coach with Heupel at USF, I forget his
Al
name now.
Alex Golish.
Yeah, Alex
Man,
Golish. That would be a home run for Kentucky, in my opinion, if they went the G5 route, if they got rid of Stoops. But we'll see.
I
So,
I do think that Alex Golish is one of the
well,
is not
he
going to.
knows the SEC because he's played with, or
Yeah,
he's coached with Heupel, and he's won at USF. That has, they don't have a lot happening right there. Um, not a
he will
ton of
not be in the
resources. So,
he will not be at USF long. He will not be
no, he's going somewhere.
in
Yes.
G5 long. It
Yeah, somebody will grab him, and we'll see who that is. Maybe Arkansas will grab him. We don't know. I think he could win at Arkansas.
I think he could win a whole lot of places.
Yeah,
He
somebody will take him. He's too good of a coach to be sitting around USF for long term. But
he is one that players were really drawn to at Tennessee.
mhm,
So I think he's going to have some success here really soon.
I agree.
Speaking of really soon, here's what we got this upcoming weekend. Some really good games.
Got some great games. Some games that make me a little nervous, to be honest.
5-0 Missouri hosting 4-1 Alabama.
I'm picking Missouri.
I, Missouri sneaky good. They are I believe they are better than their 14 ranking.
And that
Oh,
that ticket price is a low 157.
yeah.
So if you're
Not
in
as low as Ole Miss hosting Washington State, which could be fun.
That's another win for Ole Miss. Easy. Washington State is they couldn't be more G5. Dude, they're yeah.
The only thing they got going for them is their flag on college game day.
Yeah.
The
That's it.
the Cotton Bowl is going to host the rivalry game that I hate trying to pronounce, the Red River Rivalry. I struggle
I
with it
mean
every
that
year.
that is not as big of a deal in Tennessee or where I'm in Florida, but man, you better believe in Texas and Oklahoma. That's a big game.
So
Um,
you've got
and
Texas,
the ticket
Oklahoma.
price reflects that, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
You you've got Texas, Oklahoma. For one more year, you've got Tennessee, Florida. You've got Tennessee, Alabama. You've got the Iron Bowl. You've got Georgia, Auburn. You've got
well,
Georgia, Florida.
yeah, you got Texas A&M. I mean, that's a big game. Egg
Yeah,
Bowl. Did you say that one? Maybe you did.
no, I didn't. But talk
No.
about big time rivalries, big boy rivalries. The
Yeah,
SEC has it. They
absolutely.
what does the Big Ten have other than Michigan, Ohio State?
I mean, they got some others, but in my opinion, they don't come close. So you're
Michigan,
right.
Michigan State
Nah,
can't
whatever.
stack up to
Yeah,
them.
that's a joke.
The
Yeah.
ACC,
No,
this
yeah, nothing even. Yeah, I don't think anything. I mean, Miami, you could say Miami, Florida State, but outside of that,
I mean that was kind of the only one I was thinking. If Clemson's better, like Clemson, Miami,
or Clemson, Florida State.
Clemson,
Um,
Florida State, yeah,
but I don't think those are as strong rivalries as the SEC has. The SEC has the best rivalries,
yeah.
period.
And the Big 12 had some good ones. I
No,
witnessed,
they still do. They still have some good ones. They got BYU and Utah. That's a good one. Um, there's some good rivalries there in the Big 12.
but
So
but nothing compares to the SEC.
no, SEC hands down has the best rivalries
And
in the country.
and
So
what's interesting is Oklahoma is 5-0. Texas is 3-2.
yeah, Oklahoma's going to steamroll Texas.
I
That's my
think
opinion.
people beginning of the season said if you've got a 5-0 team playing a 3-2 team in the Red River rivalry, Texas is 5-0, Oklahoma's 3-2, and that is not what we have this weekend. What
It's going to be Oklahoma. They're going to win that game, and yeah, I think they're going to put the hurt on Texas. I think Oklahoma's better than Florida, and Florida could beat Texas. So yeah, I think Texas is in for another rough weekend. So
yes. Arkansas goes to Tennessee for a revenge game.
a revenge game for Tennessee, and yeah, I'm picking Tennessee in this one. As we know, Arkansas is not having the best year, and Patino, he can wish all he wants, or not Patino, shoot,
Petrino.
Petrino. I'm saying, yeah, my mind's elsewhere. Petrino, uh, good chance for him to show what he can do, but I think Tennessee's just too loaded. So yeah, I'm picking Tennessee in that one for sure.
Then Florida, Texas A&M. This this is a
This is
tall, tall
at Kyle
task.
Field.
It
Yeah,
is.
I'm not picking Florida in that one.
No.
A&M at home is a force. Uh, I think A&M will handle Florida. So,
And this is a uh 7 Eastern, 6 Central kickoff.
mhm.
It's a night game at Kyle Field. That's going to be tough.
Yeah,
30
I don't
minutes
like
later,
Florida's not winning that. I don't foresee a way Florida wins that. So
no. How crazy would it be for Florida to go 2-0 against Texas teams?
it would be I mean Florida fans would love
It
that
would be
and
huge.
that would be tremendous for Napier, but I think Texas A&M at home is that's a nasty place to play.
Yes.
I don't think Florida's going to be able to get it done. So,
Just a few minutes later, Georgia kicks off at Auburn.
yeah, I got to pick Auburn in this one. Uh, Auburn, if they can beat Georgia, they can totally change the narrative of their season. They've
Eh,
lost two straight. They lost to A&M. They lost to Oklahoma. You can come out and you can win against Georgia at home. That's a big deal. So I am rooting for Auburn. I'm picking Auburn. So I hope they don't let me down.
eh, and another game that I want to be good. South Carolina at LSU.
Yeah, the only problem with if this were at South Carolina, I'd say South Carolina has a chance. But being that it's at LSU and it's a night game in Death Valley, LSU. I
The only
don't.
thing I'm thinking is LSU's offense is not as good as we expected.
Yeah, I agree. There's something about LSU playing at home in a night
Yeah,
game against South Carolina. If South Carolina can win in that top in that hostile environment, then they deserve it. But my guess is they won't. They won't be able to make it happen. Just
fair.
like Florida won't be able to beat A&M in College Station. So
Yeah. Um, so we are 3 weeks for most people, 3 weeks into the SEC schedule. Ole Miss sitting atop the SEC standings, followed by A&M, Alabama, Missouri, Oklahoma, Georgia, um, LSU, Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, Texas, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Auburn, Kentucky.
yeah, it doesn't do my heart good to see Auburn down there at the very bottom. So, but you beat Georgia, you can rewrite the narrative for the season.
You
So
you beat Georgia, and it's because te there are a couple teams that only have one SEC game so far. Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. So there's a lot of SEC football to play, but I did
yeah.
not expect the standings to look like this.
Yeah. Well, Ole Miss is good, and they're playing a cupcake this week, but then they got Georgia the next week and Oklahoma the week after that. So yeah, we're gonna see just how good Ole Miss is when they face Georgia and then they face Oklahoma. Let's see if they can win one of the two. That would be my prediction, actually. They'd go 1 and 2 out of those two, um, because I do think Ole Miss is really good.
Yeah.
Are they the top of the SEC? Are they going to win the SEC? I don't know if I'm ready to give them that crown just yet, but they are good. So,
I I there's a lot of football left and I am here for it
yeah.
because
Yeah, we could still see Tennessee, run the table. So,
yeah, Tennessee could. It is not too far fetched to think they could.
yeah.
Um, I mean, there's several of these teams that are strong enough to run the table. But again, it's the SEC and it's tough. Oh, Ole Miss, it's gonna be tough for them at Georgia. Um,
Yeah,
I,
that they got Washington State this weekend, but then
got
they
Washington
they
State.
play at in Athens and then they play at Norman. I mean, that's if they can handle that, we're probably having a different conversation about where Ole Miss stands at the end of the season. But
Yeah.
um, we're going to find out pretty quick in the next 3 weeks where some of these schools really stand. And I'm predicting that you're going to see Tennessee move up that list, and I'm definitely predicting Auburn's going to move up that list. Now, some of that's wishful thinking on the Auburn part, but hopefully
Hey,
not. Hopefully not.
I think somebody's starting to figure something out there. I believe in Will Redmond and what he can do.
Yeah, Will Redmond's not the coach though, so if you can just stick to a game plan and for scrap sexy and just figure out how to win,
Yeah.
um, and don't worry about all these kids you got to get the ball to and crap like that. Just fundamentals, stick to the fundamentals. If kids transfer at the end of the season, we reload. You know, just don't worry about it.
And that is something that I really appreciate about Heupel
Hmm.
is when he has not had a great quarterback, he has relied heavily on the run and been successful.
Yeah.
And I think he does a good job at scheming for his players to create the matchups to help him win, which I mean, I think it's interesting. I think high school football coaches do a lot of this because you 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 just get the players that you get. There's not a whole lot of options really available. You got to figure out where can you exploit matchups? College, you get to recruit your type of players and run kind of whatever scheme you want, but the greatest coaches adapt. When Nick Saban adapted and hired Lane Kiffin as his offensive coordinator, I said, "Look out! Alabama's about to go on a tear." Like Alabama was already cemented as a powerhouse, and then when Lane Kiffin got there, I said, "Watch out! It's about to just blow up the rest of college football." And then in the NFL, you you're going to have talent, and how can you just create a little bit of separation here or there? You have to adapt your game plan week to week. People may know that you're going to run it down their throats with Derrick Henry. People may know that you're going to throw it all over the place with Dak Prescott. Now, will anybody catch it? I don't know, but you adapt a little bit in the NFL, and the great college coaches do that, and I think Heupel's done that pretty well at Tennessee, and for that I am very thankful.
Yeah, that's how you know your coach is good. And I think Hugh Freeze is a good coach, and I think he can do exactly what Heupel's doing in the sense of what,
Agreed.
hey, I here's what is going to be the best game plan versus this team, and he's shown signs of that, but he didn't live up to that expectation versus Texas A&M and Oklahoma even. So it's Auburn fans are, like any ridiculous SEC program, they want to win and they want to win yesterday, and um, so there's not a lot of excuses right now for Hugh Freeze. He better make start putting W's.
Yeah.
Uh, Putting up W's because if he's not, he's gonna be out of there. So
Yeah. We got some good football. It was a
yeah, I'm loving it.
like after having a few heavy meals, it was a lighter dinner this last week. But you better get ready for some meat and potatoes because
No, there's yeah, several weeks of good football coming up. So
yes. Well, if you want to join our conversation, please do. You can find us third Saturday in October.com. You can also email us podcast at third Saturday in October.com. Especially if you're going to a game, uh, we would love to see pictures.
yeah, this
Um,
this this coming weekend is the second Saturday in October. Uh,
it is.
just so we yeah are
I, I
aware.
I count down the Saturdays in October,
I know
because
you do.
I can't count much higher than three, anyways. uh, if you want to tag us, you can at TSIO Pod on Instagram and X, Twitter. And if you'd like to support the show, at TSIO Pod on Venmo and at or and buymeacoffee.com/TSIO Pod. Lots of ways to connect with us because I want to hear predictions about the rest of the season. Where do you think your team will end up at the end of the season?
Yeah, does Arch Manning get benched?
Oh, we did not talk enough about we did not talk at all, but uh
Yeah, just
yeah,
I see that image in my head of Arch Manning standing over Sam Houston. It's just like, yeah, you're not standing over anybody in the SEC. So
not right now.
not right
Not
now, and probably not this weekend either. So
yeah. So we'll see. Texas has a big test against Oklahoma.
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We'll see what Arch does. Um, I will sign off with a happy birthday to my oldest child who turned
Nice.
6 today.
Hey, there you go.
Yes, he's a kindergartner and he's 6 years old, and I can't believe it, but 6 years come and gone like it was nothing. I haven't slept in 6 years, but
Well, hopefully you can get a little sleep tonight. But happy birthday to your oldest. That's
yes.
awesome.
Um, and as a reminder, heroes come in all sizes and roll balls.
Yeah, War Eagle, and enjoy all the wonderful football coming up this weekend.
Tailgate, man cave, living room.